Choose any ATM of your convenience and stand a chance to win gold sovereigns.
Lanka Pay.
The government yesterday decided to increase the basic salaries of public service professionals by up to 50% starting in January next year. Additionally, cabinet approval was granted to provide fertilizer at concessionary rates for tea growers, financial subsidies for paddy and other cultivations, and fuel allowances for the fisheries industry. Against this backdrop, the People's Action for Free and Fair Elections stated that the government granting these subsidies and salary hikes at a time when a presidential election has been called is an attempt to bribe the voters.
What we observe is that the government is utilizing its authority to directly bribe the voters ahead of the election. Yesterday, they proposed another salary hike of 25 to 50% for the public sector. The government, which 2 months ago refused to provide a 10,000 allowance, is now increasing salaries. Furthermore, they are providing various subsidies such as increasing pensions, concessions on fertilizer prices, and fuel subsidies for fishermen. As election observers, we are not against granting subsidies. The next government can implement this process. However, there is doubt as to whether the economy is strong enough to bear this strain. However, what we clearly see is that granting these salary hikes and subsidies at this time is an attempt by the government to bribe the voters.
However, State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya, who refutes this claim, stated that the salary hikes and subsidies were granted to address the economic challenges faced by the public and not to secure votes.
Despite what anyone may suggest, these are not election promises. This is a program that was approved by the cabinet. These proposals were only approved by cabinet after they were reviewed by the Ministry of Finance, the Department of State Budget and the Ministry of Public Administration. Furthermore, they were prepared in consultation with the subject ministries such as the Ministry of Fisheries in the case of fuel subsidies for fishermen, the Ministry of Agriculture for agricultural subsidies, and the Ministry of Plantation Industries for concessions on fertilizer prices. All of these were the result of extensive planning, and definite timelines were set for their implementation before they were approved by cabinet. They are not merely promises made on election stages in the hope of securing votes. They are active subsidies grant under definite framework and have been specifically managed.
Meanwhile, during a media briefing today, Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sriratnayaka was questioned about the validity of salary hikes and subsidies being granted during the election period.
We saw the current government continuing to grant subsidies to the public. Fishermen were granted fuel allowances and fertilizer is being provided at concessionary rates. Yesterday, it was decided to provide a salary hike for employees in the public service. Other candidates are raising objections that this is being carried out targeting the elections and that it grants an unfair advantage to one candidate. What is the Election Commission's opinion on this issue?
If the Commission finds that these actions are being used to promote a specific candidate, it will make the necessary interventions and postpone the implementation of these processes.
The Commissioner General of Elections also stated that the order issued to the Election Commission yesterday by the Supreme Court to conduct the local government elections as soon as possible will not interfere with the presidential election.
Clearly, the presidential election must be held first. The dates for the presidential post cannot be altered. There is no alternative for the office of president. However, local government bodies continue to function despite the local government elections not being held. Therefore, at this moment, the presidential election will be prioritized. Pursuant to the Supreme Court verdict, the Election Commission will have to conduct the local government election. No, the nomination will not be cancelled. The nominations that were accepted for the local government elections in 2023 will be utilized.
In the meantime, A. Mohammed Ilyas, who was contesting the 2024 presidential election as an independent candidate, passed away last night at the age of 79. He reportedly passed away due to a sudden illness while receiving treatment at Puttalam Base Hospital. Ilyas, who previously served as a Member of Parliament during the government of former President Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumaratunga, had submitted nominations to contest the presidential poll for the fourth time after also being a candidate in 2010, 2015 and 2019.
Another person will be named in his place and they will contest under the same symbol. However, the new candidate's name will not be printed on the ballot papers as the printing of the postal ballots as well as all other documents necessary for the election is nearly completion.